Actually, PBS goes way back into my history. When I was a teenager up in Michigan, back in the 60s, I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And there happened to be a television show on Saturday mornings that taught people how to play guitar. And I learned several chords watching that show on Saturday mornings. And the big thing I wanted to learn to do was how to finger pick, because Peter, Paul, and Mary used a lot of finger picking in their playing. And so I learned how to finger pick from that show on PBS back in probably 1968, maybe. I started with classical piano when I was 7 and played that for about 10 years. And when I was right at the end of my lessons on piano, I was getting really antsy and wanted to play guitar real bad because of the folk music of the 60s and stuff. And so I got a kind of a funky little guitar, and started learning to play it. And then later on, I learned to play mandolin and fiddle a little bit, and mountain dulcimer, and just kind of mess around with a lot of stringed instruments. But I can't say I'm great on any of them. Probably piano was probably the instrument that I got most accomplished on. When I was a little kid, my dad was a really good singer and percussionist, and my mom played piano, and so we did a lot of, I have one sister that's a couple years younger, and when we'd make car trips and stuff, we'd always sing, to pass the time. And my sister and I always did dishes in the evening, and we'd always sing. We knew every Peter, Paul, and Mary song, and we'd sit. That would just make it more fun to do our chores and stuff. We were always singing. So, and I loved playing the piano and the guitar and fiddle or whatever. So it's been a huge influence, and turned out to be a wonderful opening up of the world to us, because we've gotten to do so many fun things and meet so many neat people through music. So it's been really cool. My oldest son he sings really well, but he's not terribly interested in music. My middle son plays guitar a little bit, loves music, but doesn't really play a whole lot. But then there's Ethan, and Ethan he got the gene, I guess, and he's a full-time musician living in Nashville and playing music for his living. So it's huge for him. Well, I guess I taught him, some chords and finger picking when he was first starting guitar, but he quickly surpassed me. He's a much better musician than I am. At this point, he's teaching me, which is a good thing. The best part about music is that I met Dale through playing music.
I was playing music with a local fiddler, Fraser Moss. Lots of people in the area still remember him. And I was playing music with him and Jack Salee, and we had an opportunity to play a summer series up at Fairfield Glade in Crossville, and Fraser wanted to add a couple extra members. We didn't really have anyone that did a very good job with singing, and we happened at a picking jam session, we happened to meet these two pretty ladies, Kris and Margaret, and we immediately hired them to play in the band to sing and look good. So that's how we met, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. We played with Fraser Moss for about 8 years, and met a lot of cool people that way, including some of the other Cluster Pluckers. Towards the end of that 8 years with Fraser, we were kind of feeling like we wanted to do something a little different, and that's when we formed the Cluster Pluckers. And we got to know Chet because Margaret worked for the Nashville Network, and Chet was there a lot, and they ended up co-writing a song, and so they got to be good friends, which became good friends with the whole band. So.
And Chet would come whenever we would play in Nashville. Chet would come and get up and play with us, which was a amazing,
real honor.
Amazing thing to do. And then one time he said, "Would you guys like to play on Austin City Limits?" It was going to be called Chet Atkins and Friends, and we thought, "Wow, that'd be great. We'll get to sing this one song that Margaret wrote with him, which would have been wonderful." But then as we learned a little bit later, we were going to be the Friends and play a whole half of the show. And so it was a tremendous honor and a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing because even, it's been 20 21 years since we did that show, and we still get emails from people that say they have that show on video, they get it out and watch it all the time, and it's amazing what Austin City Limits can do for your career as a musician. I mean, that was the show to play, you know, back in those days.
Back in those days.
It's the biggest show on TV, I think, that was on weekly like that. So it was a huge deal for us. Well, it offers so much. I mean, whether it's music or science or just for fun entertainment. But there's a lot of great music shows on that, you know, you can listen to and learn from and get ideas, you know, from.
And it covers all styles of music, you know, classical to rock and roll to folk. That's what's really amazing, is that it covers a lot of different styles, and some of my favorite music that I've heard has been on PBS.
Yeah, and we're lucky that we have a couple of locally produced great music shows with Jamming at Hippie Jack's and Underground, Bluegrass Underground. I mean, that's awesome. We should be really proud of that as a community, that our PBS station is helping make that happen.
Yes, and quality shows as well.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to playing with the Cluster Pluckers, we also play with our son Ethan as a family band, and we're called, amazingly, the Ballinger Family Band. And it's been really fun to be able to play some shows with him, and we've done some tours with him, and it's really great to be able to do this as a family.
Yeah, so we're still, there's kind of a rumor out there that the Cluster Pluckers have disbanded, and it's not true. We have slowed down quite a bit, but we're still playing and have gigs lined up for the year, so, you know, we are still playing. It's just not as much as we used to. And then we are still playing, we are playing with our son, so we keep pretty busy. It's good. Okay. Well, because we talked about me learning to finger pick from PBS back in the 60s, I thought I'd do a finger picking song. And I'm doing this one to honor our good friend, John Hartford, who through music got to know very well. And it's called Presbyterian Guitar. For John.
I don't think you could destroy this music if you tried, so I don't even worry about trying to preserve it. This kind of music is older than classical music. It's probably the oldest kind of music we got, and if they hadn't destroyed it by now, I don't think they ever will.
John, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for talking with us.
Pleasure was all mine.
Thanks.